But let's move on to a game where I have enormous interest in the double, in the total, I should say. And I said double because, yes, I doubled up on this total. Now, I'm a little late to the party. I don't think it's going to hurt me here. And you guys know that 9 out of my 10 total bets are on unders. I don't really, I feel like that's an easier angle and edge for me. I'm on the first half over 24.5 Buccaneers Lions at -110. I'm on the full game over 51.5 at -110. I got that at 365 today. It was about -116 at Pinnacle at the time. Let's see what it is now on both of these spots. So this is my first double up on a total. That's for my first double up. Oh, I guess no, I doubled up on the Rams Lions under. Let's take a look at the side here. We'll start there. The Lions -7 at -111. They opened up at 6.5. They opened up yesterday at 452 at 6.5 -110. Within 30 minutes, this moved 15 cents towards the Lions. And then 3 minutes after that, they moved it to a 7. And then when they moved it to a 7, it was juiced to the Lions. That's a power move there. Now it's come back a bit, but we're sitting -7 at -111 on the Lions. And that doesn't appeal to me that much. But I understand why the market's moving, and we'll discuss the injuries here at cornerback for the Buccaneers and how good their offense looked. Right now, we have a 52 at -105. I like to see that. This, as I said, this was 51.5 -116 when I moved on it. So now it's a 52. I like to see that. As I said, I got that 51.5 at -110. And let's talk about the cash flow here with this one. 66% of the tickets and 93% of the cash is on the over. And, if books that brought, that opened this lineup earlier than Sunday, you could have got a 48.5 and a 49 on the over. I didn't, and I'm okay with that. I mean, okay is not the right word, but I'm going to deal with the consequences that come betting it later. 11% of the tickets and 74% of the cash is on the Detroit Lions. Londo on the Lions -6, and Mac Beaver saying this Buck secondary is beat up. And let's go over that right now. The Buccaneers coming off an impressive 37-20 victory at home over the Commanders. Baker Mayfield, it's the best he's ever looked. Best I've ever seen him look. He's as confident, and he doesn't need to tell you about it anymore. I guess that's the difference. Maybe that's what happens when you get 100 milli. You don't need to tell everybody how good you are. He was excellent. 24 of 30 for 289 yards and 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. It helps having Godwin and Evans. Godwin caught 8 for 83 and a touchdown. Evans caught 5 for 61 and 2 touchdowns. And Bucky ran 9 times for 62 yards, their 4th round pick out of Oregon. Rashad White ran 15 times for 31 yards, but caught 6 for 75 yards. And you want to talk about, now, look, maybe the Commanders' defense is horrific right now, and that's a legit possibility. But the Bucs were 9 of 13 on third down. The pass rush only had 2 sacks, but the defense looked strong all afternoon, held the Commanders to just 2 of 8 on third down. So the Commanders went 3 of 3 in the red zone, and that's something that you'll see the Lions be able to do as well. Let's go through the injuries that are the biggest concern for the Buccaneers. First off, just Kalijah Kancey and Logan Hall, 2 defensive linemen, didn't play. They're out. They're both listed as questionable this week. But we start with star safety Antoine Winfield. We know how important he is. He had a walking boot on his right foot after the game. He's going to be out 3 to 4 weeks. Cornerback Zion McCollum dealing with a concussion. He left in the first quarter, did not return. He's in concussion protocol. Cornerback Bryce Hall carted off the field early in the third quarter, and the right ankle injury is season ending. Then you have reserve cornerback Josh Hayes, ankle injury. He was ruled out in the second half. He's listed as questionable right now. So the injuries to their secondary didn't hurt them against the Commanders. Scary Terry, Luke McCaffrey, Olamide Zaccheaus, Jamison Crowder. Those 4 combined for 7 catches for 55 yards. It will hurt them against the Lions, especially after Amon-Ra St. Brown, coming off a poor first game and wanting to send a message when everybody's talking about Jameson. Lions coming off an underwhelming 26-20 overtime victory over the Rams at home in their season opener, and it was perfect for us. We cashed heavily on the under, and it was very helpful. Jared Goff, 18 of 28 for 217 yards, touchdown, interception. They only had 7 first downs through the air, And as I said, Amara caught 3 passes for 13 yards. Now, he was targeted 6 times. Williams caught 5 for 121 and a touchdown. Montgomery ran 17 for 91. Jameer Gibbs ran 11 for 40, caught 4 for 34. While the offense didn't look good, I liked what I saw from the defense. Pass rush finished with 2 sacks, but 12 quarterback hits. Aiden Hutchinson had 1 sack and 4 quarterback hits. Marcus Davenport healthy right now. Had a half sack and 4 quarterback hits. Kirby Joseph had a pick. It was a bend but don't break defense. I mean, they allowed the Rams to put up 387 yards, but they held them to 2 of 5 in the red zone. And this defense will only get stronger. Now, DJ Reader, will he be good to go this week? I don't know. And if he does go, how many snaps will he see? I don't know, 30%, 25%. And Melifonwu, a backup safety, inactive with the ankle injury. But I loved what I saw from the Buccaneers offense. And the Buccaneers offense can score in the red zone. And when Puka Nacua was not there, it's a little easier to focus everything on Cooper Kupp. And I know that the Rams have other weapons, but I see points here. First half over, full game over, big investment. Take it away, Troy.
I'm going back and forth on this game. Back and forth on the total too. And it's exactly what you're kind of harping on is the Bucs offense. It looked like they picked up exactly where they left off in 2023, despite the loss of Canales. And what they did was impressive. I don't want to take any credit away from them, but again, it was against this defense, which I personally had power rated dead last in the NFL, and maybe Carolina Panthers have something to say about that. So it still remains to be seen from a Bucs offensive standpoint. I know I believe in the Bucs offense. So, right, if there's one unit I believe in, it's definitely the Bucs offense because the defense, looking at what they did versus Commanders team, is a completely different story. They allowed efficiency on offense, 0.103 EPA per play, 5.2 yards per play, allowed 100% in the red zone. Interesting because the Bucs defense was one of the best in the red zone last year. And PFF gave this Bucs an overall grade of 23rd, 20th or below in pass rush, run D, and coverage. And I think if you watch the tape back, I watched the first half of that game, I would say that bears to be true. They have absolutely no good run defenders in the box. I mean, Levante David was good against the run in 2019, but he hasn't been recently. They struggled against the run last year, and I expect that to continue. And they definitely struggled versus a mobile quarterback, but that doesn't really apply to this game. And the Lions, I mean, for right now, I'm going to keep them at the top of my power rankings. When push came to shove, I mean, what'd they do? They leaned down the trenches. They marched down the field, made it look extremely easy and put up 6. I think the play calling was lackluster and pretty skeptical, to say the least, but all's well that ends well. Jameson Williams, he's kind of the story of this game. I mean, the guy looked freaking elite. Clearly low IQ, but elite. This Lions offense is probably, I tend to favor teams with that are dominant in the run game because to me, it's the most telling variable in football. If team X is elite, any team could be elite if they have the ability to run the football, right? And it's not something that's way easier to execute than any type of pass you could draw up. So this is a very difficult game, and it's starting to make me, after hearing you break this down and thinking about what I'm looking at here, an over does look enticing, but it is 52. I don't like to bet overs in general, but I'll definitely be considering this one.
Londo says he leans to the under. Harold Williams leans to the under. Londo says Lions will get an early lead, grind out a low-scoring game. They just had a 17-3 lead, and that game went to overtime. You think that they're going to sit back with a lead again a week later and not put their foot down on the gas pedal? And it's part of the fun when colleagues and friends are on the other side of a bet. It's part of the fun. So
now I have to say, though, the defense, the Lions defense, and you'd agree, Jim, right? I mean, it looked night and day compared to last year. Maybe not night and day, but it's definitely improved year over year.
It looked complete.
It
looked complete on all levels of the defense.
It did. But at the same time, the Bucs' ability to score in the red zone, the options that they have, I see it. I can see an over in this game.
Well, I moved on it, a high over, and I don't bet overs very often. Great to see you guys. Brady says Reader will make a difference for the Lions D as well. He sure will. Old E in the house. We got Rants, Ziggy Balls. Thank you guys for joining us. That is Bucs Lions, and Troy has not yet made a move on it. I have doubled up on the over 24.5 minus 110, 51.5 minus 110.